Imagine a secret so powerful and disturbing that it has been hidden for decades, shrouded in mystery and conspiracy theories. Today, the veil is finally lifted. Pope Francis, in a statement that shocked the world, revealed the contents of the Third Secret of Fatima, describing it as terrifying. The Holy Father's words, laden with somber gravity, echoed throughout St. Peter's Square, capturing the attention of millions. "This is an urgent call to humanity," he said, his gaze brimming with seriousness and compassion. But what could be so alarming? This video explores the shocking revelations and their global implications. Stay with us and prepare to discover the hidden truths that could redefine the future of humanity. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any updates. What will be revealed will go beyond any expectations. In a historic event that has deeply touched the hearts of believers around the world, Pope Francis, in an atmosphere filled with emotion and anticipation, revealed the long-guarded contents of the Third Secret of Fatima. St. Peter's Square, usually a place of celebration and faith, was transformed into an epicenter of anxiety and fear as the Holy Father shared the words that he said were a terrible warning to the world. His voice choked with emotion, Francis detailed the apocalyptic visions described in the secret, which the Virgin Mary gave to the 3 shepherd children in 1917. The revelations included scenes of devastating natural cataclysms, earthquakes, black skies, and tidal waves engulfing cities. These images, painted with somber words by the pontiff, are not mere predictions of natural disasters, but powerful symbols of a call to conversion and repentance. Pope Francis, whose leadership has been marked by a commitment to transparency and truth, explained that the visions also showed humanity being torn apart not only by physical conflicts, but by a plague of hatred and indifference that threatens the very fabric of the human social and spiritual fabric. This part of the secret, he revealed, serves as a clear warning of the urgent need for spiritual renewal and reconciliation among peoples. "This is a moment of critical decision for humanity," the Pope said, urging everyone to recognize the gravity of the message and respond with a renewed commitment to peace and charity. He called on nations and individuals to abandon paths of division and conflict, choosing instead paths of forgiveness and unity. The pontiff's words not only resonated with the thousands present, but also rippled through the media, reaching far corners of the planet, prompting world leaders and ordinary citizens to reflect deeply on their actions and the collective future. The revelation of the Third Secret is particularly significant at this moment in history, as we face a series of global crises that are testing our humanity in unprecedented ways. The Pope emphasized that the secret is not only a warning, but also a promise of hope, if we choose the right path. He cited the prophecy of a potential return of Christ as an opportunity for redemption and ultimate salvation. In addition to words, Pope Francis called for concrete actions, increasing devotion through prayer, especially the Holy Rosary, seeking solace in faith and in the ecclesiastical community, and practicing acts of mercy and justice. These gestures, he said, are the means by which we can hope to influence the course of future events in a positive way. The Catholic community and other religious denominations responded with renewed spiritual fervor, organizing prayer vigils and community gatherings, reaffirming the relevance of the message of Fatima in a world increasingly in need of spiritual guidance and hope. The vivid and alarming images brought to light by the leader of the Catholic Church are not only a call for reflection but a rallying cry. Pope Francis, with a combination of gravity and hope, urges everyone to understand these visions not as inevitable facts, but as serious warnings that demand immediate and conscious action to avoid a future marked by destruction. These apocalyptic visions reveal a world where the balance of nature has been profoundly disturbed. Scientists around the world corroborate this perspective, pointing to the intensification of extreme weather events as a clear sign that human activities are destabilizing the Earth's climate system in unprecedented ways. The message contained in the Secret of Fatima is clear. It is crucial that nations around the world adopt more stringent environmental sustainability policies. We must drastically reduce our carbon footprint, protect our natural ecosystems, and promote an economy that respects the limits of the planet. Each individual is called to contribute, whether through conscious consumption, community engagement, or by demanding transparency and accountability from political and corporate leaders. The apocalyptic visions of Fatima, with their earthquakes, dark skies, and colossal waves, serve as powerful metaphors for the climate and environmental crises we face. They challenge us to look beyond the immediacy of our daily lives and recognize the consequences of our actions, or lack thereof, on the environment. The global response to these revelations has been marked by a renewed interest in theologies and philosophies that place care for creation at the center of faith practices. Prayer vigils for the planet have been organized in numerous cities, and interfaith movements for climate justice have gained new strength, bringing together people of diverse faiths in defense of a common goal. This moment of crisis is also an opportunity for collective redemption, where every action in favor of the planet is a step towards building a safer and more resilient future for future generations. The revelation of the Third Secret of Fatima reminds us that, although we may have unleashed destructive forces, we still have the power to mitigate these effects and redirect our path towards one of care, compassion, and harmonious coexistence with the earth. In a statement loaded with meaning and historical consequences, Pope Francis addressed humanity on the promise of the return of Christ, described as a transformative milestone that would bring judgment and redemption. This event, according to the Catholic leader, would not only change the course of human history, but would also serve as a decisive moment of reflection and renewal for all souls. During the revelation of the Third Secret of Fatima, the Pope described how this return is not only a promise of salvation, but also a sobering warning about the need for spiritual and moral preparation. We are facing an opportunity for redemption, but also for judgment, he said, encouraging believers and non-believers alike to contemplate their lives and actions. Pope Francis's words resonated around the world, sparking a wave of reflection on what it means to be truly prepared for such an event. Religious and community institutions stepped up their activities, promoting prayer meetings, theological debates, and community service projects, all centered on the idea of strengthening faith and commitment to acts of mercy and justice. This call to prepare for Christ's return has also brought to the fore discussions about social and environmental justice, with many seeing in this divine promise a call to correct inequalities and heal the wounds of the planet. The Pope's message serves as a powerful reminder that every action and decision has spiritual and ethical resonance, especially in a world increasingly interconnected and challenged by global crises. The idea of divine judgment evokes a profound sense of responsibility and urgency. For many, it means a reassessment of values and a rededication to life in harmony with the teachings of compassion, patience, and charity that are central to many religious traditions. Leaders from many denominations have joined forces in renewed interfaith dialogue, recognizing that the moment calls for a collective and inclusive response. Emotionally, the promise of Christ's return has also generated a wave of hope and renewed faith among many who see in this future event the possibility of a new beginning for humanity, an era where justice and peace prevail over chaos and suffering. Testimonies of conversions, a rejuvenation of religious practice, and an increase in community engagement are just some of the tangible effects of this proclamation. The world's media has closely followed the reactions and preparations in different cultures and communities, highlighting stories of individuals and groups who are taking concrete steps to align their lives with the principles they believe are necessary to worthily welcome Christ's return. Covering these actions not only fuels public discussion on the topic, but also inspires others to reflect on their own beliefs and actions. The recent disclosure of this secret by Pope Francis has rekindled interest and devotion to the Virgin Mary, reinforcing her position as a figure of compassion and spiritual guide. In a world marked by conflict and adversity, Mary's words to the shepherd children are a reminder that divine mercy and love remain accessible to all who sincerely seek. In her apparition, Mary not only shared visions that alluded to future events and world challenges, but also emphasized the importance of prayer, especially the Rosary, as a means to achieve world peace and the conversion of hearts. This simple yet powerful prayer practice has been highlighted as a way to strengthen faith and foster family and community unity. Since the revelation of the secret, parishes and communities around the world have reported a significant increase in participation in religious activities, particularly in the recitation of the Rosary. Testimonies from the faithful indicate a rediscovery of prayer as a refuge and a source of comfort and strength in uncertain times. Many believers express a deeper connection with the Virgin Mary, seeing her as a mother who lovingly intercedes for her children in every need. Mary's call to conversion has also sparked conversations about life changes that reflect true inner transformation. In many parts of the world, charitable and social justice initiatives have been inspired by her messages, demonstrating how Mary's teachings transcend the pulpit and manifest themselves in concrete actions aimed at alleviating suffering and promoting human dignity. Educators and religious leaders have used Mary's example to teach about empathy, forgiveness, and the need for active compassion. In schools and universities, discussions about the apparitions of Fatima and Mary's role in Catholic theology have become more frequent, highlighting the relevance of her example in a world desperately searching for models of goodness and moral leadership. In addition, the impact of Mary's messages extends to interfaith dialogue. Leaders of different faiths have recognized Mary's role as a point of convergence, capable of uniting different traditions in common goals of peace and mutual respect. This ecumenical aspect emphasizes the universality of her appeal and its ability to transcend religious and cultural boundaries. On the global stage, Mary's figure as intercessor is seen as essentially linked to the search for solutions to humanitarian crises. Her appeals for prayer and conversion are frequently cited in campaigns for relief from natural disasters and armed conflicts, where the need for divine intervention and human solidarity is most pressing. The Holy Father, noting the growing wave of uncertainty and anxiety that permeates our era, has highlighted prayer as a pillar for personal and communal stability. The practice of the Holy Rosary in particular has been emphasized as a powerful meditation on the mysteries of the Christian faith, which not only strengthens the bond with the divine, but also instills inner peace and mental resilience. In many parts of the world, the response to the Pope's appeal has been remarkable. Parishes have reported a significant increase in the attendance of the faithful at Masses and in Rosary prayer groups. Many describe these gatherings as sources of great spiritual and emotional comfort, where entire communities come together to share their concerns and seek divine guidance together. The emphasis on penance is another crucial facet of the Pope's address. Francis called on believers to reflect on their actions and seek forgiveness for their mistakes, not only as an act of faith, but as a commitment to personal and collective improvement. Penance, he explained, is a powerful form of purification and renewal, which prepares the spirit to face both personal and global challenges with a clear conscience and a heart willing to change. Churches around the world have been revitalizing their confession and spiritual guidance programs, providing more opportunities for the faithful to find peace through the sacrament of reconciliation. These efforts are in line with the Pope's desire to see a church that serves not only as a place of worship, but as a sanctuary of hope and healing for all who are suffering or seeking direction. The Pope's appeal has also resonated strongly in contexts where despair has seemed to take hold. In regions ravaged by conflict, economic crisis, or natural disasters, Francis's message has offered a ray of light. Reports of prayer vigils and faith-based community initiatives have multiplied, showing that even in the darkest circumstances, faith can inspire action and bring comfort. Pope Francis has also encouraged church leaders to be proactive in taking to the streets, bringing God's word and the comfort of prayer to people who may not seek out church on their own. This outgoing church, as he often describes it, is a church that actively seeks out the lost and the wounded, offering them the hand of Christian fraternity and love. This global call to prayer and penance has also sparked renewed interest in the media and the general public about the impact of faith on mental health and social well-being. Studies and news reports have explored how spirituality can be a crucial resource for coping with stress and adversity, reinforcing the Pope's argument that faith is vital, not just as a religious practice, but as an essential component of human well-being. Pope Francis, with a clear burden on his heart, described how the Virgin Mary, in her appearance to the three shepherd children at Fatima, conveyed visions that symbolize the terrible human and spiritual cost of global conflicts. The messages emphasize not only the physical destruction caused by wars, but also the spiritual and moral wear and tear that accompanies hatred and indifference between peoples. These visions are a poignant reminder that peace is much more than the absence of war. It is an active presence of justice, reconciliation, and fraternal love. In response to this message, communities around the world have been called to reflect on their attitudes and actions. The call to penance and conversion is manifested in global and local initiatives to restore broken relationships, both small and large scale. Religious and lay leaders are encouraged to mediate dialogues for peace, foster tolerance, and combat the discrimination that often takes root in society. In addition, the Pope urged everyone to reinvigorate their prayer lives and seek spiritual strength through devotional practices such as the Rosary, which asks Mary to intercede for a more harmonious world. This call is not merely a return to traditions, but an urgent search for sources of power and inspiration that can help heal the world's wounds. The warning from Fatima also highlights the crucial role of education and formation in values such as empathy and selfless service. Schools and universities are seen as vital arenas for cultivating future leaders who can prioritize peace over power and collective well-being over personal gain. Programs that promote conflict resolution and intercultural understanding are needed more than ever, as they equip young people to confront and resolve disputes in a constructive and peaceful manner. The media, in turn, play an indispensable role in shaping public perceptions of peace and conflict. The Third Secret has inspired journalists and content creators to approach these issues with new depth and responsibility, seeking not only to inform but also to inspire action and reflection among audiences. Reports on peace efforts, portraits of reconciliation, and stories of forgiveness are increasingly featured, serving as powerful examples of how humanity can overcome its divisions. The revival of penitential practices in particular has been evident in several dioceses around the world. Penance, an ancient tradition intended to purify and refine the spirit, is being rediscovered by the faithful of all ages as a vital means of personal conversion and spiritual reformation. In response to the Pope's call, many are participating more frequently in the sacrament of confession, seeking reconciliation and redemption. Churches and cathedrals are expanding their confession schedules and hosting penitential retreats and missions, providing safe and welcoming spaces for reflection and inner renewal. At the same time, Eucharistic adoration is experiencing a golden age of revitalization and participation. This practice, centered on the veneration of the Blessed Sacrament, has seen a significant increase in perpetual adoration and visits to the Blessed Sacrament. Eucharistic adoration serves as a source of comfort and spiritual strengthening, offering the faithful a moment of peace and intimate communion with Christ. In a busy and often alienating world, these moments of stillness and contemplation are precious, offering spiritual renewal and clarity. The appreciation of the sacraments has also been reinforced, with a particular emphasis on the Eucharist and baptism. Recognizing these rites as fundamental to Christian life, parishes have been committed to educating their congregations about the importance and deeper meaning of these sacraments. Sacramental formation programs are being revitalized, ensuring that children and adults alike fully understand the transformative impact these sacred rites can have on their lives. This spiritual rebirth has been accompanied by a number of personal testimonies, highlighting profound life changes and spiritual conversions. Stories of renewed faith, restored families, and strengthened communities are frequently shared, both in community gatherings and on digital platforms, inspiring others to embark on their own journeys of spiritual discovery. Through these accounts, the message of Fatima continues to inspire a wave of spiritual renewal that transcends geographic and cultural boundaries. Furthermore, this revitalization of spiritual practices has fostered a new wave of civic and social engagement among the faithful. Driven by renewed faith and a deeper understanding of the Christian call to service, many have become actively involved in initiatives for social justice, environmental care, and humanitarian aid. This integration of faith and practical action is perhaps one of the most powerful manifestations of the impact of spiritual renewal on everyday life. The Catholic and secular press have taken note of this phenomenon, with many articles and reports highlighting how ancient practices are finding new vigor in a modern context. Religious scholars, theologians, and lay leaders are frequently invited to discuss the implications of these trends for the future of the Church and its role in a rapidly changing world.